Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today I have the pleasure of chatting with Bitty Buddha over here, who you guys might know if you're familiar with the Tart or / Tang. Now they call themselves Tang. I don't know. I think that was an orange drink or something in the 70s that people used to be able to mix up. But they call themselves Tang now, which stands for the Atheist Network Group. So if you're unfamiliar with them, you can head over to their channel and sub. There is a link below to that, and you can see Bitty on some of the shows that they offer. So also have links to her TikTok and her Twitter. So you can stalk her in those fun places as well. Anyways, Bitty, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
And I got confused earlier. I said, I love your fish tank in the background. And turns out it's a TV.
Yeah, it's commonly mistaken for one, but...
Well, I can see why. It's like all 4K and shit. At least it looks that way through here. So
right.
I was like, can we feed them?
Yeah.
To what? But yeah. What I do here is I chat with people about their journeys away from whatever faith systems or belief systems they're once a part of. And I always ask, kind of take us all the way back to the beginning stages of when you were an indoctrinated person, and how those dominoes fell and you found your way out. And I'll leave it to you. All and then I'll probably jump in with something ridiculous to say every now and again, as I do.
Sounds good. Do you want me to start right now?
Well, yeah, I think that'll be good. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I grew up in a super fundamentalist, super strict evangelical. I think we were technically non-denominational, which I don't have any clue what that actually means. It was pretty abusive. My mom has covert narcissistic personality disorder. So I grew up with her. And then I went to a private Christian school that eventually went out of business for abusing children.
Oh, wow. So, were you abused there?
There wasn't... I wouldn't say there was no sexual abuse that I'm aware of.
Okay. Well,
then again, I don't. I don't know a lot of people's stories, but I know a lot of people came out super traumatized.
Right.
My mom was pretty crazy. We had a lot of those, demons are everywhere, and if you do this, you'll get a demon. And so a lot of that,
you'll get a demon.
You'll get possessed.
I'll take the red one in the back.
Can I get a big one, strong one? Yeah. And she was quite ill. I now have a restraining order against her.
Wow.
But to kind of backlog that, it was just like she strategically put me in an environment that was going to affirm her behavior. So I had no idea that this shit that went on in my daily life or at school was weird until I literally left it. I had no idea. And people were like, oh my God, that's abuse. And I'm like, who knew, So that was my upbringing. I have a hard time talking about it, but I'd like to at some point. How deep into it do you want me to go?
That's entirely up to you. With whatever you're comfortable with. I'd never push people to go to places that might make them, uncomfortable. So whatever you're comfortable talking about.
There's a few examples I've shared. My mom used to, just so you kind of gauge how crazy she was. She used to get pets. Wait till I was attached to the pet. And then her form of punishment would be either getting rid of the pet or killing the pet. And so I still to this day have a really hard time connecting with people because she kind of just fucked me up in the head. And then she got remarried to my stepdad, another crazy family, and I ended up the scapegoat, if you're familiar with how narcissists run their household.
Yeah.
It seems like the whole church has, a high percentage of narcissists in it. And then not I rebelled. Yeah.
Because I was raised Jewish.
Oh, were you?
Yes.
I have a soft spot for Judaism, which I'll get to.
Sure.
So I rebelled against that. I wanted nothing to do with it. But at the same time, I would still say that I was Christian. Like I believed in God. But did my lifestyle reflect that belief? Not at all. And I pursued a career in tattooing where I was a professional tattoo artist for about 6 years.
I never would have guessed.
No, just covered. And it was like I have never felt more accepted than when I was in that industry, because all it is a bunch of misfits that have been hurt. They have pretty fucked up families, and it's family. And they were loyal as shit. And then I had my moment where I met Jesus. I met him on my living room floor. And it went 180 from there. I was heavily raised to be terrified of the rapture. Like that was a really big thing. We watched movies on it. Every time my mom went for a walk and didn't tell me, I thought she got raptured. Anytime there was like a tornado siren, I thought she got raptured or the rapture happened. So I was quite traumatized by that. And I had gotten myself into a rabbit hole on YouTube about the rapture coming soon. And, you know, I remember Obama was the Antichrist and like all this like crazy shit. And I'm like, oh my God, the end is near. And they had emotionally manipulated me through these YouTube videos. And in that moment, I thought Jesus appeared to me in my living room. And it really did change my life. It was shortly after that incident that I felt convicted to leave the industry I worked my ass off to get into, because at that time it wasn't, you know, females didn't work. You had to earn your way really into that industry as a female. And I was like, I gotta leave this, and Jesus wants me to. And so I threw it all away. I threw thousands of dollars of equipment in the garbage because I thought that it was a gateway to demons. I was fucking crazy. And my life did like a 180. I swung full blown into Pentecostalism, where I was going to like healing conferences and revivals and street healings. And I even held conferences. And it's Happy Pride Month. I was that asshole that would take groups down to Pride festivals and tell them they were burning in hell. I was that asshole. And my husband, I'm all over the place. ADHD. And okay, hold on. There's somebody at the door.
Uh-oh.
Just
Is it Jesus again? I hope it's not Jesus, guys. Because he's good. Hey, I heard you were going on Neil's show. I don't think you should do that. We'll find out in a moment. Could be maybe she ordered food. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, back. It wasn't Jesus.
Okay. Food delivery.
No, my father-in-law was yelling about the remote. Anyways, where was I? Who knows? My husband.
Thousands of dollars. Yeah, and then you went on to the husband, right?
So he was an atheist. He was the only secular family that attended my private school because they allowed him to skip 2 grades where a public system wouldn't. So he was there and we met through that school, but he was an atheist his whole life. And he started to show me videos of, I don't know if it was a magician or something, but he used to do street healings and show how through the power of suggestion that this really isn't the Holy Spirit, that anybody can perform these acts. And it sent me into this
Is it James Randi?
I don't know. People, I have no idea if I don't remember his name, but he used to do that on YouTube.
Might have been Randy. Well, Randy didn't really do much on YouTube. He was on TV all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember, but I think he was a magician. And I was like, well, shit. Okay. And that's when I dove into the Bible and swung into Baptist. We're getting rid of the gifts of the Spirit. And now all we do is we focus on the Bible. Where I kind of started that deconstruction story, because I started to read the Bible for myself and break down a lot of the church doctrines, where they derived from, and kind of learned that the doctrine of hell wasn't real, the rapture wasn't real, the Trinity is not real, like all this stuff, which then swung me into Judaism, which I loved. I loved it. I still love it. Because it's so communal based. Like, were you heavily involved in the religion, or is it more like ethnic?
We were Reformed Jews. We went to synagogue on Fridays.
Okay.
Maybe the high holidays. I went to Hebrew school.
Okay.
But I got in trouble a lot there. So.
Yeah, it was a community, and when it's Shabbat, you're there from sundown to sundown. Like, you don't leave, and you do Hebrew classes and oneg, which is a feast.
Yep.
And then the feast days were my favorite, because like there's nothing like Sukkot. We need a secular Sukkot. I'm just saying.
Can we build the sukkah and everything?
Yeah, and we'll roast a lamb. It'll be amazing.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved every part of it. And my husband,
Purim was basically Jewish Halloween. That's what it is.
It is. Like, it's all repackaged and you get your own shit. Yep. But one thing that happened, and it was Yom Kippur, which is the holiest day of the year. It's when God is the closest to his people. And
apparently.
Yeah. And reading the Torah, it says, those that keep my commandments, I will keep you from harm and sickness and all this shit. And we had this giant worship night. I was part of the worship team, and our lead singer got bronchitis. Ooh. And at this time, I kind of had some doubts. My husband had shown me videos on evolution, which I was a creationist. Like, evolution was a religion in my world. It never could have happened. And he showed me, I think it's an It's Okay to Be Smart video, where whale hands, like how whales still have the appendages for hands.
Yeah.
And then how like giraffes' necks, they're just not designed, like they are just the most inefficient routing for their esophagus. I don't know. Whatever. Yep. And it just sent this like cognitive dissonance, like, okay, this is making a lot of sense. And that's where it all started to unravel. And I was like, okay, evolution. I can get behind it. You know what? I don't have to be a 7-day literalist. But then I started to test everything that I knew. Because I always wanted truth. That's why I think I pendulum swinged into so many different things, is because I was constantly truth, should withstand scrutiny. Yeah. I had never actually questioned the preconceived notion of, is God real? Anyway, so I got on board with evolution, and but it was Yom Kippur, and it was a worship night, and our leader got bronchitis. And biblically speaking, we did everything. So not only are we keeping the commandments, not only is it Yom Kippur, not only is it the elders praying over her and anointing her with oil, and nothing happened. Not shit happened. And in that moment, I'm like, this is bullshit. Because the promises that are in the Bible were not happening. And I think we make excuses like, oh, well, it's either yes, no, or maybe. Well, who is it that says I could pray to, Joe Pesci and I'd get the same results? Who is that?
J Mike.
Oh yeah, J Mike. But am I all over the place?
No, you're
okay. But I just started going, where's God? Where is he? Because this is the one moment in time, everything is done right. It's on Yom Kippur. This is bullshit. And I walked away and I said, I'm throwing everything out. I am just getting rid of everything and I am starting over. Descartes' rotten apple analogy, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I'm aware.
That's what I did. I was like, fuck all this. And I just started, it was Seth Andrews' Satanic Panic.
That's a great one.
I was like, well, shit, this is my whole upbringing. And it was just all in these people's heads. And Satanists don't even believe in a literal Satan. Like, so much. I was like, I was so ignorant of everything, so sheltered. And I now came out a leftist LGBTQ ally, like atheist activist. So that was my journey. And I think the worst part is the community I had just thrown myself into. The minute I started to ask questions, they said, no, don't do that. Just start praying harder. And I was like, you know what? If God were real, I was sold out. I loved it. I didn't have any intentions of changing my worldview. I wanted to stay in it so bad. So he had any given moment to intervene and say, you know what? I'm here. I'm right here. This is real, whatever. It never happened. And just being familiar with Judaism, it's like, you're doing the Torah. You are like, you're not Christians that are like doing all these blasphemous things to Yahweh. Like, you know how there's like a dichotomy between the two. And I was so mad. I was so angry and then I went into this like identity crisis. It's at that moment, it's learning that your entire world is a lie. Like, you had just learned like you're adopted. It was that. And I went into a deep depression over it because, again, I loved it. And yeah.
I am adopted, actually.
Are you?
Yes.
Did they tell you that right away, or?
Yeah, I think I was like 6 or 7 when they told me.
Okay, were you adopted at birth, like real, like a baby? Okay.
Yep. I've actually met my birth parents too.
Did you?
Yeah, they ended up getting married, and they had 2 more girls, and so I had sisters. And
how do you feel about that?
I'm still very close with them. I see them. I've been close with them for 21 years now.
Good.
So it's all been very, very good.
Good.
But,
yeah.
My biological mom passed away. She had an embolism, and they were out camping, and she just kind of fell down on her computer, and then one of my sisters was killed in an accident. So yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's some pretty heartbreaking shit there, but you know, I still have one sister left there, and my biological father, and we still see each other all the time. So things are good. And they were friends with my parents too. So
were they?
Yeah, they became friends. Like everyone met up and stuff like that. So, yeah. But they were Christians. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. So clearly, the Jews were really the chosen people, because if I was born to Christians and given up to be adopted by Jewish people, then obviously Judaism is the right path, right?
Did they think that?
No.
Oh.
No, that's my analogy.
Like, wow.
that's my analogy of how God can't be fucking real, and Christianity can't be the right path, because I mean, I was given up and went to Judaism.
Yeah.
Right? Or was God testing me?
Yeah.
No, fuck that, right? Yeah. Of course. They come up with some bullshit for that shit, right?
There's always an excuse. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my deconstruction story.
That's the whole thing. Well, so hold on. Do you still? Are there still more? Do you still have like people from the past that you were friends with while you were a believer that you are still friends with, or did pretty much everyone sort of toss you aside, kind of thing?
Oh yeah, it was. When I was asking questions in church, they didn't like that, and then I was very okay with the title atheist. In fact, right when I started questioning shit, I came out. I said I'm an atheist because that's where I stand. That's where I stand right now. You might as well know it. And that's when everybody dipped. They didn't want me tainting their worldview now, and I'm possessed by demons. And
clearly,
because no one can be the arbiter of their own decisions. Or
no. That's totally against their religion.
Yeah, they have to make excuses because nobody would willingly walk away from God, you know.
one of the things I find really funny is you were mentioning earlier how Christians were kind of like they're not following like the path that they should be, and even Jesus himself told them to obey his Father's laws.
Yeah,
which includes no mixed linens, don't eat fucking shellfish and pork. You know,
yeah,
and other ridiculous things.
Oh, it's the all of Christianity. They have absolutely no idea. Okay, all the things that make Jesus the Messiah, they changed so that he wouldn't qualify anymore, like a virgin birth or like and just whatever. It completely disqualifies him then as the Messiah because they don't know their Old Testament. And so I started TikTok politics because I was like the only atheist besides my husband, and so I was just processing a lot of feelings online, and I made one video speaking Hebrew, and it went crazy, and people are like, why don't you just start teaching the Bible? And so I did that, and so now I kind of I'm called a biblical atheist because I teach biblical authenticity, like how it actually is meant to be read, and then Christians are going, well, shit, like here I felt so strongly about this thing that isn't even real. So they're kind of deconstructing by learning more about what it is that their religion is supposed to be. So
yeah, for sure,
it's kind of interesting.
So you can speak Hebrew?
Not very well. I was much better at it when I was in church or in the congregation because it's so apparent. But like I took 6 years of Latin. I took 4 years of Spanish. I took about a year of Hebrew, and like all of it. I'm like, I don't know, La Pluma. Like I know a few words now. So
I lived in Israel actually. So
did you?
Yeah,
I still want to go there.
It's beautiful there. It's definitely a unique place, that's for sure.
Did you how did you like it? Was it?
I did grade 11 and 12 there. So
really,
I was at a school, and then we went to school for half the day, and we worked in the fields the other half the day. So I would go out and pick bananas or whatever the fuck, and pecans or kiwi or actually my favorite one was the mangoes, because when you pick mangoes, they make you wear gloves. Okay, because you can't touch mango sap. Mango sap burns. It's kind of acidic.
Really?
So, so the little smart ass kids that we'd be like, clip, try and get it on the other guy. So we all of us have these little mango burn marks all over us now because we're idiots. like it doesn't hurt, but it definitely is my mark.
Really?
Like my friend Isaac still has the mark on his cheek because I hit him with it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, damn, I missed your eye. Kind of thing, right? Like, what an asshole.
When you're kids, you do the dumbest shit without ever thinking of the consequences whatsoever. Like, what if that went in his eye?
Yeah. We do. We do some dumb shit. There's more shit I could tell you. Like stealing my friend's mom's boyfriend's pickup truck during the garbage strike. So it was loaded up with garbage bags and it had big side panels on the side of it. So we stole the truck and we're driving around, and I'd never driven before, but all the other guys were drunk. I hadn't had anything to drink. I'm like, fuck you guys, I'm driving because I'm the only sober one here. So I'm like, you know what? We really shouldn't go out on the main drag. So we're already doing about, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 miles an hour down the road. And I've decided to make a quick left. Okay. So we didn't go onto the main road. Yeah, but we're top heavy. So the truck went, flipped over. And one of the sideboards cut a Corvette in half.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So we fled the scene, and of course, one of us was stupid enough to go back, and we got caught. We got caught.
The truck would have been registered, and then in your
my buddy's mom's boyfriend's name. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, so I did a little what they call juvie time for that one. And
did you?
That was the final straw that my parents went, hey, so how would you like to go to Israel? I'm like, okay. Turns out that the school they sent me to was for bad kids anyways. So
Sweet.
Yeah. So I spent a couple of years there, and that was probably couple of the best years of my life too. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Got to learn how to shoot all kinds of guns in the Army, and drove a tank, and well, technically lost my virginity in a tank, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big
One
one.
to tell the grandkids, right?
Right.
The grandkids I'll never have because I don't have any kids that I know of. But anyways, but I had to take a picture of the tank, so I jumped out of the tank, and I had my staff sergeant was the one I was with in there, and she aimed the tank right at the camera, so I took a picture. And,
Nice. So
yeah,
was that the Israeli army?
yes, Sahal they're called. Yeah,
But you can join that being American?
Oh, it wasn't actual. We got invitations to join, but we just did like boot camp.
Oh, okay.
With an option to stay and do it, right?
Gotcha. So, okay.
My folks found out, but they're like, no, get home. Come home. So I never got a chance to do it. Yeah, beach prices I could tell other people's grandchildren.
There you go.
There you go.
Hey, want to learn about that time I lost my virginity? That might be kind of creepy, but
I've given a challenge to Dadpool too. So he's like, tank, losing virginity. There's a joke in there somewhere, and I'm sure you'll come up with it, Captain.
Yep. I'm not that punny.
He's so funny. Oh yeah, I was letting him fly last night. My roommate just driving her fucking nuts. She's like, just shut up, get out, leave, go, shut up.
That's always fun.
I think we should change Captain Dadpool's name to Captain Dad Jokes.
That would be appropriate as well. Yeah.
Mike, I don't know why, but Mikey's cracking his knuckles. Can you see the chat?
I can. Yep.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been paying attention. I'm just trying to stay focused with my story, and then otherwise I'd be all over the place.
Well, you have told your story. Is there anything that you want to add to it? Or should we talk about how you ended up getting involved with those losers over there, like in the Tang and Tart community, guys?
Those losers. Whatever.
Those losers.
Whatever you want to, wherever you want to take it.
Because I do kind of want to talk about, I want to kind of find out how you met up with them and how you ended up getting involved and becoming part of their regular broadcasting.
Yeah. I honestly have Atheist troll Jeff,
mm-hmm.
to thank for a lot of it, because he kept going, hey, get into this group, and hey, get into Skype, and hey, get into this Discord. And I was like, oh, okay. So I just kind of did what I was told. And
good thing he wasn't driving around in a nondescript white van, eh?
I would have got in, and where are we going?
Got candy? Okay. I prefer ice cream, but candy will do.
I did say I was naive. And so he kind of got me hooked up with these people, and I actually messaged Oz. So it was me, Captain, Nathan, Oz. We did the whiskey, scotch, and cigars show.
Right.
So I was the first. Yeah, are you going on there?
Yeah, with Dave Warnick.
Oh, yeah. I'm so jealous. That will be so fun. Yeah, I got invited to be on that show. I was the first female guest to be on it, and I guess they liked me, so that was good. And
what's not to like?
I know, right? And
you're so humble.
I hate talking about myself.
That's all right.
And I actually messaged Oz, and I said, hey, I wanna like get involved here. I wanna do more shit. I wanna get acclimated to kind of YouTube and leave TikTok, because not leave, but all my shit's just getting banned for hate speech by Christians. So at this point, I'm like, I'm annoyed. Yay. And I said, if you've got if you ever want somebody on that knows the Bible or whatever, I'd love to be on. And he's like, well, how about we put you on full time on the Monday night call-in show? And I was like, okay. And so that's what I do. And I'm always messaging Oz. I'm like, let's go do a show. Let's go do a show. And he's like, well, come into this show. And so I'm like, I want to be everywhere. So he's been such a I feel like his apprentice. And yeah. So that's kind of how I got hooked up with them. It was just the whiskey Jeff and then the whiskey show. And then I just asked them if I could be part of their team, and they said, okay.
Yeah, well, they're. I joke and I call them, idiots and stuff like that all the time. But I've become quite fast friends with most of those guys. Well, pretty much all those guys.
Yeah.
I've had literally, except for Pastor Mike, because for whatever reason he won't come on my show. I don't know why. I keep asking him, and it's like, well, yeah, one of these days. But it's been one of these days for a year, dude. So what are you talking about?
It's hard to not take it personal at that point.
Right. So I've had Jeff, and I've had Dadpool, and I've had Oz, and I've had even J Mike before he decided to go fly solo, and I had Steve on. I've had pretty much everyone on, and now I've had you on here.
And now I'm the last one
to mark off the list. They bring on more people, right?
Right.
You never know, because they're constantly evolving and growing as a unit, right? So, which I think is great. I mean, let's face it, we need people like those guys, and there's other channels as well. And I kind of include myself in that kind of the community, where the part of the community where we're still trying to build a decent community, because there's so much toxicity going on around. And actually, I did something that may have been a little rash yesterday, but I was already in a mood when I saw the specific comment in a specific group that I was a part of, Twitter chat. And the person had said, oh yeah, the atheist community is racist and toxic. And I was like, oh, so we're making blanket statements about an entire community now, huh? Oh, well, that's fucking it. I'm out. And I kind of just left the group. And I really should talk to the person rather than act like a child and stomp out of the room. I should actually talk to the person about it. But I'll make that move at some point soon. And because I think there's still a chance that we have to learn to separate the bullshit from the good stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can keep all the bullshit off to the side and have the decent folks still going as a community and still representing atheism. And I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, we're just bored with it now, or there's too much toxicity. And I know that there are certain people out there that are becoming like wedges in the community. It's almost as if they're trying to break it up. And that bugs me. That bugs the shit out of me, because we should be on a united front, not a separated front.
Yeah, right? Otherwise you're no different than Christianity or religion, for that matter.
Well, any other tribe, we'll say.
Yeah.
But, or any other, what's the word I use? The other demographic I think I use. There's going to be assholes in every fucking single demographic. You have to learn to get rid of those people and be the better part of that demographic and show others that that is the good part of the demographic. But we can't do that. Everyone's just going to start, calling everyone else out or everyone else names, and saying, oh, you're toxic, you're racist. I'm like, you don't even fucking know me, kind of thing, right? Like, you don't know nothing about me. But let's face it, the only thing we really all have in common is atheism.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But there's still good people in that group, in that that part of the group. I mean, there's still really good people. And I try to surround myself with as many of them as I can and try to build that kind of a community so that those people that are having issues can come and feel welcome and not feel like they're being attacked for their color, their skin, or a belief that they have that not non-religious related or whatever. Unless, of course, it is a bad belief. Then we try to kick that kind of shit to the curb.
Right. Yeah, I'm so new to the community. I know that a lot of the people at Tang have been trying to address some of the toxicity. I'm kind of unaware of it, which I kind of like, but at the same time, I'd like to help where I can. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like it's unfortunate when, we're supposed to be advocating for change in a more progressive and beneficial way, and then we're not. It's counterproductive for sure.
It is, absolutely it is. I mean, instead of like screaming and yelling and pointing fingers, talk to them. Say, hey, listen, I think that this thing or this phrase or whatever it was that you did is a bad idea, and I think that you should maybe think about it. Maybe if someone was hurt by it, apologizes. Hey, listen, I was out of my mind, or whatever the case may have been. But we need to have people like that in the community. And that I'm not going to stop doing this. I'm going to keep bringing people onto the show and introducing them into what I consider to be a decent part of the community. Right. And I know that there, even some people that I have had onto the show have kind of turned out to be a little off the fucking wall or whatever. And that's fine. They can go and do their thing, but they're no longer going to be a part of what or myself and others are trying to accomplish here, and showing the world that, atheists aren't bad people. We're not all like those few over there.
Right. Yeah.
We're trying to normalize the shit. So
exactly. I do feel like there is some gatekeeping within the community.
Yes.
Which is really hard to accept when your motto is normalizing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
agreed.
I feel like, unless maybe it's just being a woman, but I kind of sense that. I kind of sense it there.
Mm-hmm. I do too. There are certain, like little offshoot groups that I've known that I didn't now view as being, I thought you people were cool. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're exposing yourself for what you really are. And,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't. I'm not going to quit doing this. I'm not going to quit introducing people. I'm not going to quit bringing people in. I'm going to try and build our, I'm not going to say we're the perfect example of atheists, because clearly that's not really a thing. But I'm going to show the good side of what, at least what I think the good side of what atheism should be. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're doing a great job.
More people. Well, I try, and I thank you for that. But I'm out of beer in this can. But you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, you know what? We haven't heard. There's someone else's opinion I'd like to hear on all this. Let's bring Mikey in here. Usually I bring him in about the last 15 minutes or so, but let's get him in here early.
It's that's Mikey. Good shit, famine.
Mikey has been with me. You've been with me for what? Just over a year now, right?
Yeah.
Just I think maybe almost a year and a half. When I met Mikey, we had an instant kinship. It was uncanny. A lot of similarities, even though we've got a little bit of a year's difference. I'm a giant kid as it is, anyways. But so I'm
a curmudgeonly old man.
Don't make me get my cane out, Mikey.
As soon as the chiropractor stops being able to snap me back into the right shape, then I will be having the cane. I'll be,
no, whippersnappers, get off my lawn.
Neil, is that my cane or your cane? I don't remember.
I don't remember. God damn it. All right. Yeah. So what's your take on all this? Because we were talking a little bit about it before we went live, Mikey. And you were kind of in agreement with me. There is some strange stuff amok in the atheist community these days.
I think everyone is used to being their own bullhorn. And that's fine, because everyone has their own channels. Everyone's used to being the center of attention. And what I say is what happens on my... That's fine. But we're a community. So that means we have to use certain words with each other. That means we need to talk not online all the time. That means we need to have each other's phone numbers and have conversations so nuance and all that stuff can be passed through without any misunderstandings. But when there is nothing but bickering and fighting and it's all public, all the Christians just sit back and say, ha, 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 ha.
They're coming unglued. God's plan at work.
I knew God would trouble their hearts. Ha ha. That's the Christian voice. But it's just like whenever things are new, they're not going to be perfect, and you're not going to get it right on the first try. And we need to be able to give each other second chances and let people say things that are probably wrong, but also say, hey, before you say that again, just know that wasn't right. And we have to accept that from other people when they tell us that they're not doing it. Yeah, they're not doing it so that they can they're trying to steal my audience. No, it's just you sound like a jackass, and I'm trying to be nice about it. But if you don't want it to be a nice thing, it doesn't have to be. Like I think people get very very precious when it comes to their points of view. But your point of view is like everybody else's. It could be wrong, and it's okay if it's wrong. Just move forward or have a good way to explain it. That's kind of the whole thing about being a skeptic, I thought.
Well, it's like I always say, it's fine to have an opinion. It's better if it's an informed opinion.
Right.
Yeah. I'm one of those people that would much rather have people inform me if I'm misspeaking or misrepresenting something than to hold on to something just for pride's sake.
Let it fester, right?
Yeah.
And then explode one day and you're like, whoa, what?
Or be insulted that somebody has criticism. I mean, I feel like that's how we grow. It's how we learn.
Yeah.
And how I actually get closer to people is by,
And I'm not, and of course this is not everybody, but I'm telling everyone so everyone hears it. So I'm not picking on anybody, but if you don't argue with your friends from time to time, then what the hell? You're not even being friends. I don't know how many times me and Neil have argued over stupid shit, but little petty things. It was like, no. Yes, it is a Christmas movie, Neil. You're just wrong. All right, you're big and you're wrong. Talking about Die Hard. Talking about Die Hard, best Christmas movie ever.
Fuck you.
But you got to be able to have a back and forth. And when it comes to something so serious, as when people want to say that this is racist or this person is problematic or this is a bad thing, okay, let's have the conversation. But be able to have the conversation and not just a yelling match. Arguing is fine, but let's argue and actually get our points across at the same time.
My IQ points just went down a few because this guy just showed up.
Oh no!
Atheist Chico,
Hey.
and I'm joking, Chico. You know that. Oh yeah, Chico's a funny guy. He's
hilarious.
Funny fucking shit on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done any TikToking in a while, and
are you on there? I don't. What?
Yeah, and I keep getting followers on there. Oh, dude, seriously. The first one I ever did, I wasn't sure if it was recording, so I'm staring at the camera, and that thing has become somewhat of a sensation. Thanks to like Jay, Mike, and Jeff, and all the Tart Tang guys.
It's a meme now.
Is it still up? I'm gonna have to go watch it. Yay!
Watch all the variations too, because I'm like, hi TikTok, and then you just see like Jeff or Mike or someone just cracking up, right? Like, it's
funny.
Yeah, Dadpool did one too. It's like good times. It was kind of amusing, that's for sure. But I got the second, third, fourth time around. I knew as soon as you hit that record button, you can go right at it, right? So, but I thought, is it supposed to do something? Am I recording? That's what's going on in my head, right? Because I've never used it before. So
he's doing that awkward, the awkward little boy who's just like, okay.
Boomer on the TikTok.
I'm not a boomer, and you know that.
Are you?
No. I'm a Gen Xer, pal.
Yeah, you're my sister's age.
We're the cool ones. We came after the boomers.
Yeah. Thanks.
My parents were boomers.
Generation.
Is my mom a boomer? My mom might be. What's the year cutoff for boomers?
Boomers end to what, 64, 65, somewhere like that? 64.
My mom's definitely a boomer.
Rihanna's okay, boomer. I like the child one or Grogu one. Boomer, okay. When he's talking to Yoda. That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
Oh.
The chill generation. Yeah, that was Gen Xers. See, we knew stuff from the boomer era, but we also know stuff that the millennials know, so we're kind of dangerous.
Yeah. Except when it comes to like TikTok, and then you just like make a really hilarious video of you just staring into the camera lens.
Yep.
And you know what? To your credit, Neil, and I'm going to give you a couple of flowers here.
I like flowers.
You've said something, and then 5 minutes later, someone says, "No, that's not right. It's this." You say, "Oh, thanks," and then that's the end of it.
Well, you know why?
How hard is that? How hard is that, guys?
Best thing about being proven wrong, you're no longer wrong.
You can throw the wrong away and keep the right answer. You can keep the right answer for free. It doesn't even cost anything. You know? Oh, there's the $1 million idea. We'll start charging people every time they change their mind. We'll just charge them $1. Every time they change their mind on something, they got to pay us $1.
I don't know if that'll work.
Billionaires by sundown.
Yeah, I did have an idea, because I was talking to a buddy of mine at work who knows what I do here and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And he's like, you know what you should do? You should have another channel where you get people that are having these differences and get them together to talk about it and see if they can iron shit out.
That'd be a cool social experiment.
Mm-hmm.
The Iron Out Sessions, starring Neil, the 604 Atheist. He said you're a wannabe, bro.
Wannabe.
You're not even a real boomer. You're just a wannabe.
So sad.
He's holding up his cane like, come on, guys. I'm with you guys, right? No? Can I sit at your lunch table?
Generation, also a great band. Yes, that's where Billy Idol came from. Actually, yes. He was in Gen X.
I was thinking of D-Generation X, but that's the wrestling faction.
Yes, that's a totally different thing.
They had good music, though. It was done by Rage Against the Machine.
So, Mikey, now that we've just been fooling around for like 15 minutes, but did you have any questions for a bit?
The non-denominational thing cracked me up because I was like, oh my God, I remember being in a non-denominational church. People were like, so what's your take on this? I was like, I don't know. I have to wait for the pastor to tell me. Because you don't really adhere to really anything. And the sermons are usually not really about anything. And then you just do my God is an awesome God, and then you fucking benediction and we're out of here. And fucking see you next week.
My God is an awesome God. Fuck your God.
Neil's God is an awesome God. And then they have like that horrible breathy singing. I'm like, Jesus. It's fucking as Reverend Asthmatic over here is really struggling to hit that D flat. But I might have missed it because it was a very delicious steak. I got it it was a good medium well. I meant for it to be medium, but I wasn't paying attention. And I used clarified butter this time, and I think that butter gets hotter than regular butter. So anyways, cooking stuff. But did you do like all the youth groupy stuff too?
Oh yeah. It was church every Sunday. Then I go to my private Christian school where we had Bible class for like 8 hours. And then Wednesday we'd have chapel at the school. And then from chapel, we'd go to youth group. And then, yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Are we playing video games?
No, but the hashtag coins is because my phone has the Mario Kart sound effect.
Mario.
Oh, that's cool.
The coins sound effect, right? So.
For like a text message?
Yeah, anything that comes through, I get the Mario coin. That's why it's
cool.
Hashtag coins.
Nice.
Which you will be able to get in my merch store soon as it gets opened up. You'll be able to. I'm thinking, oh yeah, Mike, I want to say we need to do beer signs too that say hashtag coins, but I want to do hashtag coins on one side, the logo on the other.
I like that.
You know what I mean? You know
I
what
like that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I got you. I got you.
Frequency, Kenneth.
Kenneth. One thing I hate about one of the things I always hated about going to youth group was heaven forbid you have a crush on one of the girls in there. What are you gonna do? You can't do nothing. You're gonna hold her hand. What you gonna hold her hand? Just walk around the school? You can't do that. That's wrong. What, are you gonna kiss her? You can't do that. It was the worst thing was having a crush on the girl in youth group. While you were in youth group. Let me just clarify that before someone takes that out of context. Jesus, what's wrong with me?
So I'm not sure if Ashley missed the beginning or not, but
was it a long process?
Hi, Ashley.
Hi. Well, so much of my like learning was basically what other people are deconstructing as far as like church doctrines and stuff like that. So by the time I actually started questioning the faith specifically,
Get out of
I
here.
don't know, 6 months. And then I'm an atheist. And so then I've only been an atheist for a year now. So, and I only started making atheist content 5 months ago. And and here I am. Look at me.
Look at you. She's nailed down a fucking solid schedule on Tang. She's over here getting deconverted on Neil's.
I'm a hustler, baby.
I just want you to know it ain't
So-
happening.
And I guess to answer the other part of Ashley's question, what were your biggest
sorry.
struggles?
Two-part question.
Biggest struggles.
I would imagine it'd probably be the family-related stuff.
Yeah. I was never, well, so coming out as atheist, the biggest struggle was just losing my community that I loved so much. And then my mom, so yeah, that's been tough. I've never been really close with my family. But I didn't even tell anybody I was an atheist, but someone had called my mom up. This is why I have a restraining order. And she was like, I heard you don't believe in God anymore. And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, well, what happened? And I basically told her, I said, well, I learned about this and I learned about that and you know, whatever. And she goes, that's not why it is. It's because you're mad at God. And I'm like,
Well, that's what they all think.
no. And then she said, in order to get me to come back to the faith, she is now going to be praying that God kills my children. So,
What?
yeah.
Well,
And-
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, right?
That's
Yeah. Like God
that's
has
her
to
grandkids.
you.
That's
Right,
your grandbabies.
Holy fuck.
She's never been a loving mom or a mom by any sense of the word. But that, and then I went into therapy shortly before before that phone call happened, and I went no contact with her. She kept showing up at my house. She kept calling people. She told everybody I was in jail, and that's the reason I don't go and see her anymore. So I just filed a restraining order, and the judge granted it to me. But now that's causing problems because I'm only doing it because I'm possessed by the demons. So they always have an excuse, just some convenient excuse.
Yep.
The mold, you can't threaten my children with God death demons.
And I'm the crazy one. Like, thank you. I've been in one, I think, discussion panel with Randolph
I'm so sorry.
on Amy Newman.
Oh, Amy. I got to get Amy on here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, she's so fucking funny.
Is she funnier than me?
Just different kind of humor.
There you
Well,
go.
That means
That's
yes.
a nice way of putting it.
I'm not going to say funnier, but I don't know. There's nobody I think it's
jokes.
funnier than other people. It's just these are people that make me laugh. Like they tickle my funny bone, so to speak. Let's not get carried away, people, and take that to a place it doesn't need to go.
What other kind of bones need tickling?
My bone isn't that funny. Okay.
Coins.
You're so popular, Neil. Ka-pating, ka-pating, ka-pating.
Yeah. That's what my mother says. You turn that thing off. Too many friends.
What does your shirt say?
Oh,
Schrodinger's.
The Schrodinger surprise instead of Kinder Surprise. It says,
I get it.
100% dead, 100% alive.
Nice. Where did you get that?
I don't know. They target market me on Facebook, and I fell for it one time and bought their stuff. So that's fucking cool. I need that shirt, and I bought it.
That's what they do. They wait till we get drunk. They know when we're drunk, then they start advertising all the shit that my stupid little kid brain cannot live without. Which is why I have a bidet all of a sudden.
That's how I bought this piece of shit, which isn't exactly as it was described. Like look at this. Fucking, like it doesn't even make lightsaber noises.
It makes
listen to this. Listen to this.
It's metal on metal.
How much did you pay for that?
Oh, it was like $30. I was all pissed.
$30.
I was like, oh yeah, it's like this cheap ass plastic fucking with a hole in it. I guess you could add another one so you could be Darth Maul with the wrong sounding lightsaber. Like, what the fuck is that? But anyways,
it's almost better now that it has the wrong sound. That kind of redeems it.
No, it's not even doing it.
cheap crap.
And then
I'm gonna get a real one of the really good ones that costs like $200 and something. So
What do you do? Like, and then you just play
and then
with it in the yard?
I just have it. Okay. It's like,
I will be fulfilled.
Once he gets it, then he'll have it.
same reason I paid $280 for this.
I'm
The
kind of glad
Mandalorian helmet.
I'm not a nerd, because then I would just be blowing my money on.
Whoa. You never told me she wasn't a nerd.
And,
I'm not a
and
nerd.
this one,
What is that?
that's
So-
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke.
From Teen
Deathstroke.
Titans.
I don't know what I'm saying.
What is it from?
Teen Titans. And then there's this one from The Watchmen. You got Rorschach, but this was like $15 or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you do
And then, of course,
cosplay?
Nope, I just like masks. And then there's this guy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
What?
Zero hasn't made. I'm surprised Zero hasn't made his weekly. Let me just yell into the ether because someone's opening their own car door. That's my dog is Zero.
Brian Stevens does cosplay, apparently.
I would love to do cosplay.
Yeah, I would too. I feel like that's an art in itself that I could totally get into. But I'd probably be like a poser because I'm not a nerd, but I just like the costume. I like to dress up.
Are you sure you're not a nerd?
I'm not. I get into Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh,
then,
you're a nerd.
But then I compare myself to Dungeons and Dragons nerds, and I'm not that. I don't know.
Just because you're not the uber nerd, like that doesn't mean you're not a nerd. You may not be like a dungeon master with like 15 campaigns running simultaneously.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Richard. So Ashley had one more little question for you, which you did obviously because you talked about getting into Judaism and stuff like that too.
Did I? I didn't like once I became an atheist. I wouldn't say that I had any desire to check out Hinduism or Islam, or I didn't. If it like I became a skeptic, and so I don't believe there's any evidence for any god or the supernatural
Or an afterlife.
Yeah, I'd like to I did look into Sikhism because I'm like, I kind of like their values, and I'm okay with reincarnation, even though there's no evidence for it.
Right.
A nudist.
Chemo.
That's not cosplay chemo.
That's a
You guys get
felony.
arrested for that.
That's just running around naked.
That's
Doesn't count.
called streaking.
I do that. Yeah, I do that all the time here. It drives my roommate crazy.
And speaking of which, where did he go? Canadian Ollie Man, roll for initiative. Damn it.
What'd you get? 20?
8 plus 3 is 11. He's gonna roll like a 19 or something. He's always beating me.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I'm played in years, so.
It's pretty fun. I think if you have a good imagination.
How often do you play, Biddy?
I haven't played in quite a while. Okay. Remember when I said I threw away a bunch of my tattoo equipment?
Oh no.
I also threw away all of my D&D books and all that shit because I was like, demons. And but I used to play quite a lot. My husband was in the military, so we could have so many people over that were willing to play. And now I don't know. I am invited to a few TikTokers want me to join in on their campaign, but we'll see.
Do it. Do it. And now because of the internet, only one person has to have the compendium, like the D&D handbook books and all that stuff. Once you go on a Roll20, everyone's got it. So we just went halfsies. And so we have all the books for everything. And now everyone can see it. It's great.
There you go.
Joke's on you.
Well, Ashley said this is cool. She's always late to live stuff. So I feel like I'm hanging with you guys. Well, I'm glad you feel that way. You're always welcome, Ashley. My shows are always open. And if you have questions, I do my best to try and see them and get them asked too, by the way.
I don't. I just try to make jokes.
Should be his fucking job to notice his shit, but that's all right.
I mean, she wasn't really talking to me. She was really talking to Neil, you know.
Fair. fair enough.
No one ever asked me questions, so I just kind of like tuned out after like the 40th episode of no one asking me anything. I just kind of said, "Oh, there's a chat. That's cool."
You hate me. You really hate me. No, all right. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's been an hour. Like, boom! It happens just like that.
So fast. Time flies.
I know. That's what they all say.
There it is. Damn it! Got me before I get you. Oh, I'm gonna get you.
Well, that was quick. I know. Let's go eat.
Tacos?
Yeah. No tacos. For me, it's all about going for sushi.
Putin.
Yeah, Putin. I mean, yeah, it's good stuff, but you get the really good stuff out east, and I'm nowhere near out east. So now I have a Canadian question. As a future resident, yeah, you heard that right. Is that like an everyday food? Is that like a once a month food? Last time I had poutine was
when you get real drunk food.
Yeah, that's a good time.
See, it's a drunk food, and I like to get drunk.
Poutine is a food?
Yes, it's French fries with cheese curds and gravy, and then hot gravy, and it melts the cheese curds all over It's a French Canadian delicacy, but you can add things like pulled pork or bacon or all kinds of stuff you can add to it. And
they've been keeping it a secret from us.
Yeah, like the shrimp one I had the other day was fucking awesome. Yeah, it was good.
Huh? Never heard of that.
Yeah, poutine.
I'll pull up some pictures. It's fucking badass. And I like to eat. As
Gorilla says, dear me, no. Everyday poutine would shorten your lifespan dramatically.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I'm trying to move to Canada. I bought a house there. I've never been to it, and then COVID hit. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whereabouts? Where'd you buy a house?
It's in New Brunswick, and
we
bought it because I was so paranoid about Trump getting reelected. I'm like, we're getting the fuck out of here. And bought a house. COVID hit. Can't get across the borders. Still haven't seen my house. So
I'll go up there.
Careful, Shannon Q might move into it.
She messaged me, or I was on her live or something. We're only a few hours from each other, so she's gonna be my new best friend. She's like, whenever I can get there.
Oh, honey,
she's awesome.
She is awesome.
Just mail me the keys. I'm so sorry you couldn't make it over the border. Just send me your keys.
Yeah, hey, that actually wouldn't be a bad idea. You want to go live in this house that I can't live in?
Yeah, it won't be long till you can.
I bet you I can get over that border.
You got a trick? Secret? Tell me your secret.
Gorilla says you're not far from him.
Ooh.
We'll talk after this.
And I know Ollieman lives out that way, and he's got lots of good weed.
And
really? Yeah. Nice. Yeah, you can like grow your own weed and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're legally allowed to pour water on a pot with seeds in it.
It's still illegal in my state.
We have Yeti Pop. No, I'm kidding. This is where I keep my weed, actually. So
nice. Ours is a Lysol can because COVID. It's so inconspicuous right now.
True.
Dude, if I just had like a fucking hollowed out box of masks.
There you go.
So, never suspect it.
So somebody just, you know what? And I really should mod this person because
who that?
When I first showed up in the atheist community on the YouTube stuff, and I fell down the atheist rabbit hole, this is going back some years. One of the first names I noticed and went, that's a fucking great name, was Iron Charioteer. Because Iron Chariots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was just a great fucking name.
That was the opening band for Iron Maiden in the tour of '84.
No, I saw that tour. That wasn't them. And I just thought that was a great fucking name. So, and now Iron Charioteer is showing up in my chats, and I just modded you because like everybody gets a wrench around here. So,
nice. Congratulations.
Him's the Oprah of wrenches. Did you get one? And you get one. And you get one.
Biddy isn't Canadian, but she's got a house here, and she could soon become one.
I'm trying to be.
She is Canadian. I have that confirmed.
I will use my. Hold on. This thing will come in handy.
I need
for
a
something.
Canadian to vouch for me so I can get in there.
I now dub the. It's even red, so I now dub the. There we go. You are now Canadian.
You got to sprinkle some maple syrup on her forehead for the
Maple syrup.
blessing.
Cross of maple
Do
syrup.
a little smudge like fucking Rafiki did in Lion King. Just as soon as I cross the border, remember who you are.
Ashley, if you, any good books that we recommend, it depends on what you mean. Fiction, nonfiction, atheist related.
I like TV Guide.
I have a stack of books right here.
Do they
that
even
I'm
make a TV
currently
guide
reading.
anymore?
Yes.
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who reads those?
No one.
Okay.
No. My, I think my mom still gets them delivered. So
One person. I stand corrected.
So she can't internet. Internet to her is like it might as well be an alien language or something because she doesn't.
You pull up the guide and it everything's there.
She doesn't know how to do it. She can't even turn her TV on.
You gotta just leave it on. Turn it down when you're not watching it.
Every time I'm there, could you,
put a blanket over it.
every time I'm over there, she's like, "Could you show me how to use the TV again?" I'm like, "Mom, you see that blue button with the microphone on it? Just say the show you want to watch." Oh, so she presses the button and then lets it go, and I'm like, "No, you got to hold the button." Oh, then she presses it and lets it go. I'm like, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah. Do you know how long it took me to get my mom to not? She thought email and internet were the same thing, and she would use the words interchangeably, which definitely created some problems. She's like, "I don't have the internet on this," and I'm like, "That's not a sentence. It's a laptop, Mom. What are you talking
My
about?"
mom got her iPad. She goes, "Look, I've got internet." I'm like, "No,
Exactly.
that's an iPad, Mom."
Yep, that's that. I got the internet
Hook
now.
up to the internet. Yeah.
Words. They're hard.
Words. They mean well. They mean well.
Anyways, this is the sort of stuff we can goof around with in the after party. So,
Yeesh.
why don't we do that, guys? If you want to jump in here with myself and Mikey and the guest of honor tonight, Biddy, let Mikey know through Twitter or Facebook, or myself if you aren't connected to Mikey, and we will do our best to get you in. We might have to swap people in and out because Biddy's pretty popular. So there's going to be a lot of folks wanting to come in to hang out with us in this after party. So
don't be mad if I ask you guys to make space.
Yeah. Mikey's even he's pretty graceful guy. He's even willing to bow out for a few minutes so someone can pump in. Oh, hashtag coins. Oh, actually, that was the Facebook thing. So I think that was Ollie. I want in.
It's like calling shotgun.
Yeah, it's always Ollie. Yeah, it's Ollie. I knew it.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta go over to Facebook for him. Hold on, Ollie, I'm coming.
Oh, is this shit on Facebook? I don't got a Facebook.
No. I will. If we will put the link for the after party in the private chat, and you can click on that, and you'll get over to it. So, because then it saved me having to email the link out. I always usually just drop it in people's messages, right? I just drop them there, and people jump in from there. But it does kind of so it balloons up when you put it in there. So I understand that's why you might not want to. Yes, it's on Twitch too. We do air this on Twitch and Periscope, which is technically Twitter, and YouTube. I was doing it on Facebook for a while, but there was too many issues with Facebook. It would freeze up. People were telling me they were having issues with it. So
that's why everyone should go to the Twitch and follow Neil on Twitch so that Neil can get to the first level of monetization, so we can get all the cool emotes, so you guys can subscribe and do all the cool stuff that Twitch allows us to do.
And I'm going to be doing Twitch is a gaming platform very much like this.
I'm not a nerd, guys.
People play games usually, but there's also stuff like this that airs on there as well.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just another video format.
Got it.
But it's got all kinds of little treats that YouTube just doesn't have. But I'm going to be, as soon as I figure out who I'm going to get to make my little icon-y stuff, I'm going to have the memberships soon so people can join a membership like you can see. Sometimes you see the little blue join button on the bottom of videos. I'm going to have that pretty soon. And a merch store. But which, by the way, Mike, we really have to actually set aside some time to talk maybe tomorrow or something. We'll have to talk about that.
Okay.
All right. Look, I'm an emote. Oh, Swede. Hi, Swede. Oh, Swede's cool.
Hey. Oh, it is him.
American beer is watered down, says Iron Charity. That's what my dad used to say. American beer is like making love in a canoe, fucking close to water.
That was.
Haven't heard that one before.
I was like, that was multi-layered.
That was my dad. Pretty fucking multi-layered. Anyway, we're going to do that now. So, Biddy, thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. I've been looking forward to chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, my pleasure. Mikey, thanks for the awesome job you always do. And like the little rolling by banner says, we need one of those little sing-along balls to jump around on that fucking thing too. Randolph and I are starting up our own. Yeah, you can do it. Randolph and I are starting up our own call-in show real soon called True North Talk as soon as he finishes building it. The studio I'm talking about, because I usually should be there helping him, but I haven't been able to get away to do that lately. But everyone knows why. My mom's been in the hospital for the last 2.5 months, so make sure she's okay before I start being on these other projects. But yeah, head over to the channel, give us a sub, and you won't miss our launch when we do eventually go live. And although I haven't been on a few of the shows lately, also because of mom and stuff like that, and I talked to Johnny, but he never answers me, so I think he's actually mad at me. So I don't know, because I'm never there for the shows anymore. I've been on like a couple in the past 2.5 months. But yeah, we do the Mikey's been on one of them or a couple of them, and we do that relaunched and revamped nonprofits for the ACA, which is on 3 p.m. between Talk Heathen and the Atheist Experience. So if you haven't seen us over there, go and sub to the channel, and you won't miss an episode there. They're a lot of fun to do. And of course, the last Saturday of every month, we had the show this last Saturday with Andy and Seamus, and our guest was supposed to be Kate Farr, who's also known as Bionic Dance.
Right.
Unfortunately, she didn't realize that the guys that were coming to fix her internet were coming that day, and they said that they'd be there between 1 and 3. And so they kind of screwed up, and she wasn't able to do it. But Nick Suter from In Time bucked up. And he said, I can come on and hang out with you guys. He doesn't drink, so we called him the designated streamer. So he hung out with us for the couple hours that we were live last Saturday. If you missed the episode, head over onto the Laughing in Disbelief channel, and it's there. We have a lot of fun doing that show. You can watch us progressively get drunker and drunker as the show goes on. It's a lot of fun. It's 2 p.m. on the last Saturday of every month. So the next one's coming up in June, and Bionic Dance says she promises she'll be there for that one. So
yeah,
which will be fun because she's a lot of fun, and I'll be sending her a link for tonight because she loves coming into the after parties. So, anyways, thank you to my wonderful, amazing, stupendously awesome patrons. I couldn't fit all that in the initial one. Well, I probably could have, but I was lazy. Anyways, you guys are the reason this show is what it is and keeps going. Really, everything you guys do for me does help big time. So thank you all for what you do. Big kisses and hugs and virtual stuff like that. And we are going to get into the after party. There is a link below to the after party. So if you want to come and hang out with us over there, you can do that. And we'll see you guys in the chat and answer whatever kind of questions you have. And also, if you want to be a part of it, just let us know. And until next time, guys, like I always say at the end of these interviews, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.